Okay, so the warm-up is pretty much the same as what we've done for the past couple of weeks. So, put yourselves on your bums. Oh, that's really bright down there. Hands behind your back, feet flat on the floor, roughly shoulder width apart. You just want to drop your knees down to one side and then drop them over to the other. Just try and keep your hips as low as possible. And just try and get your knees right the way down. You're not going to be able to keep your hips perfectly flat on the floor. And then if you just leave your left leg across the front and then stretch that right leg out so you can go into your pigeon stretch. Again, if you want to put a little bit more weight through, if you come up onto your hands, you can sit back onto your hips a little bit. And then if you roll back onto your butt, hands behind your back, go back into those swivel hips again. So if we do about 10-ish, and then we'll finish on the right side and we'll do the right pigeon stretch. So if you leave that right leg across, stretch back to the left, move my kettlebell. Again, you can either sit upright like I am, or if you've got the space, you can stretch out. And then if you just curl your toes, both hands flat on the floor, step back with your other foot, just drop your hips down. And if you look up at the ceiling, so you're going into, I call it a seal stretch. So if you look up, get your hips nice and low, just make sure you're dropping your shoulders. And from there, if you just sit your weight back, leave your hands where they are, just sit back onto your heels, so you can kind of stretch out the back a little bit. And if you just rock back forward, again, just look up at the ceiling. Drop those hips and just keep rocking backs and forwards. I'll just do a couple more. And we'll do one last kind of child's pose. And then you come back up, so shoulders right over the top of your wrists, just curl your toes. You're going to go into 20 mountain climbers, but just count your reps on one leg. So it's knee into the chest, extend your leg back, opposite knee, but go nice and fast with your feet. And then just count to 20 on one side. So we'll just go through that once, because your workout today, there's two parts to it. The first part is going to be an EMOM for 8 minutes. So every minute on the minute for 8 minutes. That's going to act like a little bit like an extended warm-up for the second part. But I'll explain the second part once we've done this first part. So you basically got the first minute, you could do 10 squats, so 10 goblet squats into 10 overhead presses, and you got a minute to get those reps in. So if you do it in 30 seconds, you've got 30 seconds rest. If you do it in 50 seconds, you've only got 10 seconds rest. So get it done as quick as you can. Rest whatever time's left in a minute. The second minute, you can do 20 swings. So that'll take roughly about 30 seconds. So you'll get loads of rest after the swings. But you're doing it for 8 minutes. So it'd be 4 times through. That's basically 4 of each. So the first minute for the goblet squats, you want to hold on to the kettlebell. I don't really mind how you hold on to it. Because you're doing overhead press straight after, it's a little bit easier if you hold on to the ball and then wrap your thumb and fingers around the handle. So you'll basically do 10 goblet squats. If you're getting all the way down to the bottom, just make sure you've got your elbows inside your knees. Straight after you've done the 10 squats, I'll kneel down so you can see what I'm doing. You're just going to do 10 overhead presses. When the presses, just make sure you get your head right way through your arms, lock the arms up. So you'll go straight from 10 squats into 10 presses. So that'll be the first minute. Rest whatever time's left. When the buzzer goes, I'll give you a countdown if you can't hear it. You're going to do 20 of your two-handed swings. So nice and relaxed with the upper body. Nice and fast, straightening the legs up. So that's going to be the first part. So first minute, 10 squats and 10 overhead presses. Get through that as quick as you can. Whatever time's left will be the rest. When the buzzer goes and it ticks over into the second minute, you're going to do 20 swings. Rest whatever time's left. And then the third minute, you just go back into 10 squats and 10 presses. So it's 8 minutes, so 4 times through each one. And then once we've done this, I'll explain the worst part, which is the second part. Pretty straightforward. Right. We'll go in 10 seconds. I'm not sure whether you'll be able to hear it. I'll give you a countdown. Okay, you're going in. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So 10 squats. And then once you've done your 10 squats, again, you can do it standing up. I'll just do it kneeling so you can see what I'm doing. You got straight into 10 overhead presses. And then once you've done your 10, just rest. So you got 20 seconds. Whew. So it shouldn't be too tiring, this. He says famous last words. Okay, 10 seconds. So this second minute is 20 two-handed swings. Okay, you're going in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So just try and keep those knees still and push your bums back. And then drive the hips through as fast as you can. Okay, so you got 20 seconds. So that's 2 minutes down, 6 left. So now you're going back into the squats and the presses, so 10 of each. Feels like quite a gentle start, this. For the carnage, which is going to come in a minute. Okay, you ready? In 3, 2, 1. Go. So again, 10 squats. And then once you've done your 10, go straight into your presses. Yeah, you can do it standing up, you don't have to do it kneeling down. So again, 20 seconds. Okay, 10 seconds, so you're back into the 20 swings. So again, be nice and fast with the hips. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So 20 swings. And just try and relax your arms and your shoulders off. Just let that kettlebell swing back. Oh, nearly there. Oh, so that's a halfway. So 20 seconds. Okay, same again in 10. So you're back onto the squats. Again, just try and keep your feet flat on the floor. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Get 10 squats. And then once you've done your 10, go into your 10 presses. Get nice straight arms overhead. 20 seconds, back into the swings. So on the presses, if you find yourself struggling, you're leaning back a little bit, which you shouldn't be doing, just put one foot behind the other and just try and keep your torso nice and straight. Okay, swings in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So back to the 20 swings. Again, trying to squat, just think knee still, hips back. So you should feel it on those hamstrings. Whew. Okay, one more time through. And if you've got water, just keep on with your water. I thought it'd be a bit cooler today, but it's not. Okay, 5 seconds. Then it's back into those squats and presses. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Again, once you've done those 10, you can do your presses standing up. Whew. Okay, last minute. One day I'll get a mat that won't move about. Okay, last lot of start with the last lot of swings. Last minute of these ones. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Let's get nice and fast. Nice straight legs at the top. Whew. Oh. Okay, should be fully warmed up now. Stop that timer. Whew. Okay. Right, the last bit. It's going to sound really confusing, but it's not actually that bad. Well, not that confusing anyway, it is bad. You've got 3 rounds. First round, you're going to do 20 reps. Second round, you're going to do 15 reps. Third round, you're going to do 10 reps. Okay, and you've got 3 different exercises. First one is alternating lunges, so reverse lunges. I'm going to show you how to do those. Your second exercise is figure 8s, which I'll go through. And then your last exercise is overhead presses again. So the presses that you've just done, you're doing them again in this bit. So the first round, you're going to do 20 of everything. So you do 20 of the reverse lunges, 20 figure 8s, and 20 overhead presses. Then you do 15 of them all, and then you do 10 of them all. So for the alternating lunges, I don't really mind how you do this. If you want to hold the kettlebell like you did for the squats and hold it in front of your chest, you can do. If you want to hold it bottoms up, and then wrap it around the back of your head, which is what I'm going to do. You can do it that way. So basically, like I say, it's entirely up to you. If you want to hold it in the front, you can do. You're probably going to be better off holding it around the back, and it will keep your back a little bit more upright. So if we're doing it that way, you want to be bottoms up with the kettlebell, so make sure the ball's at the top, and then you're just going to loop it around the back of the head. So if I turn around so you can see, hold on to the corners of the handle, and then the ball should sit right in between your shoulder blades. And then for the lunges, I do it facing forward first. If you start with your feet hip width apart, when you step back, try and step out to the side a little bit. Lunge down, but keep your elbows out, and then step back in. So that'd be 1 rep, step back, knee down, step back in, that'd be 2 reps. So keep your elbows out. Try not to lean forward over the leg. So with the kettlebell at the back, you should be able to stay a little bit more upright. And then step in. So 1 rep, step back 1 leg. So that'd be 2 reps. That'd be 3 reps. And then just be careful bringing that kettlebell back round. So you'll start the lunges. You're then going to do figure 8s. So for the figure 8s, easiest way to do it, without whacking yourself, hold on to the corner of the handle, because you're going to pass the kettlebell around the back of your leg and then swap hands. So if you start in your right hand, you want to squat. I'll do the first one slow. You want to squat down, pass the kettlebell around the back of your left leg, switch hands. As you're standing up, curl the kettlebell up so you catch it in front of your chest, so it's in your left hand. Then you're going to squat down, pass it around the back of the right leg, and then it's back in front of the chest. And then you'll just speed up. So it's a squat down. The quicker you stand up and drive your hips forward, the less you've got to do with your arms. Okay? And then just make sure you catch it at the top. So it's always around the back of the opposite leg. So you only swap over at the back of your legs. Okay? Every time you catch it in front of your chest, that's 1 rep. Overhead press is exactly the same as what you just did in that EMOM. Like I said, when we were doing that, 20 reps is a little bit more than 10. If you find yourself kind of struggling a little bit and you can't get the weight overhead, use your legs a little bit so you can turn it into a little bit of a push press. Or if you find yourself, like I say, if you find yourself leaning back, just put 1 foot behind the other and try and stay nice and upright with your upper body. So those are your 3 exercises. You've got reverse lunges, figure 8s, overhead press. 20 reps of all 3, and 15 reps of all 3, and then 10 reps of all 3. There's a slight little twist in that in between each round. So after you've done your round of 20 reps and after you've done your round of 15 reps, you're going to do 40 2-handed swings. Okay, so you'll do 20 reps of the lunges, figure 8s, and overhead presses. Then you'll do 40 swings, so 2-handed swings like you've just done in the EMOM. And then you do 15 reps of the lunges, the figure 8s, and the overhead presses. Then do the 40 swings again, and then you'll finish on your 10 reps of everything. So you're just doing the swings twice. Make sense? So it should be fairly straightforward. I'll keep shouting out what you're supposed to be doing. So it's 20 lunges, 20 figure 8s, 20 overhead presses, 40 swings, 15 lunges, 15 figure 8s, 15 presses, 40 swings, and then 10 lunges, 10 figure 8s, 10 overhead presses, and then done. Simple-ish. I've got a feeling this might be a little bit more trickier than what it sounds. Okay, so you're going to go at your own pace. The idea is just get through it as fast as you possibly can. Like I said, on those lunges, just make sure you leave at least hip width distance between your feet. So if you wrap the kettlebell around the back of the head, and then just keep those arms out to the side, try not to close your elbows up. So I'll do the first few and I'll face the camera and then I'll turn around to the side. Okay, everyone ready? I look headless when I'm stood there. I've got no feet and no head. So elbows out to the side, feet roughly shoulder width apart. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go. So step back and step back in, start with 1 rep, step back in, that'll be 2 reps. So it's a big step back. To stand up, you want to drive through the heel of that front foot. And once you've done your 20, last one for me, loop that kettlebell back round. You've got your figure eights. So it's round the back of the leg, squat down, stand up, catch it in front of the chest. Like I said, if you hold on to the handle in the corner, it makes it a little bit easier to change hands. And then once you've done your 20, you've got your overhead presses. Again, I'll do this kneeling down. If you want to do it kneeling down, make it a little bit harder, you can do. Get nice straight arms overhead. And then once you've done your 20, you've got 40 swings. So exactly the same as what you just done on that EMOM. Nice and fast. Driving those hips forward. So I think if you lose count on this 40, I think you start again at the beginning. So back onto your 20 lunges. And then once you're done your 40 swings, you might feel it on your forearms a little bit. You're back onto the lunges, but you've got 15. So you're going to take a big step back, make sure you keep the feet at least hip width apart as you step back. And then just try and stay nice and upright with the upper body. So if you think the front leg, you're trying to keep that knee over your ankle. And then once you've done your 15, you've got your 15 figure eights. Just come around the back of the leg, stop over, catch it in front of your chest. Only change hands behind the back of the leg. Whoop. I said the quicker you stand up out of that squat, the easier you're going to find it on the biceps. Whew. Then once you've done your 15, back onto the 15 presses. Get a nice straight arms overhead. Make sure that kettlebell is right over the top of your head. And then once you've done your 15, you're back onto your 40 swings again. Get nice and fast, straighten those legs up and driving the hips through. And then once you've done your 40, you got your last round. Release your legs. 10 reps. Oh. Get big, step back. Once you've done those 10, suddenly started sweating loads. Forearms. Figure eights. And then once you've done your 10, you've got your 10 presses. And I think after these 10 presses, we'll add on the 40 swings because we've got time. And then once you've done your 10, we'll add on another set of 40 swings to finish off. Which you're probably going to feel on your forearms a little bit now. Oh, my forearms. Oh, 80 forearms. All done. So quite a short one. If you wanted to, you could go back to your 15 reps, add the 40 swings back in, and then finish on your 20. So you could do it like an upside down pyramid if you wanted to. We're not going to because I think we've only got 5 minutes, so we've not got time to get through it. But you could do that if you want to make it a little bit longer. It'd be quite a good one. It'd be horrible, but it'd be quite a good one. Or you could even start at higher reps and do the same thing. Maybe start at 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, do 5. Oh, that'd be horrible. A lot of lunges. Right, all we do now, we're just going to have a little stretch out. I think I was all right until the set of 15 and then the floodgates open and I can't stop sweating now. Everything was fine until that round. Okay, so if you sit on your bum, chest on your thighs. So basically just tuck your chest on and then just walk your feet away or slide your feet away if you can. But just don't let your chest come away. So try not to sit upright and then grab your toes. All you can do is arch your back. You don't really get much of a stretch in your hamstrings. So try and keep your chest down on your thighs and then walk your feet away as far as you can. But if you think about trying to get your forearms down to the floor, so it doesn't really matter, like my legs are still a little bit bent because my hamstrings are really tight. But try and get your forearms down And then with your toes, rather than grabbing your feet, keep trying to point your toes back. So you should get it right up your calf. Probably going, if you can see mine, I don't know if you can see that. Right behind your knee, all the way up your hamstrings, but just keep that chest down. It basically just takes the stretch off your back and puts it all into your hamstrings and your calves. And then if you slowly come out of that, we'll do, let's go left leg. I always do right leg first. Leave your left leg in front. Any problems with your knees, just bring your sole of your foot on the inside of your thigh. If you can, bring it around the back. So try and get 90 degrees in the legs. But again, bend your left leg at the knee. Shift your rib cage over your thighs. So again, try and work your forearms down. So even if you kind of bolt upright, if you really tighten the hamstring, you'll still get a stretch in this position. But try and get your forearms down, and then try and straighten that leg up as much as you can. But again, just limit that distance between your thigh and your chest. Again, it should be, if you keep flexing your foot back, it should be up the calves, all the way into that chunky hamstring. And if you slowly come out of that, just straighten that left leg up. Bring the right leg out to the side. So if you go into a straddle position, or pancake, some people call it pancake, basically get your feet as far apart as you can. If you feel any pulling already in that position, just bring your feet a little bit closer in. Clasp your hands together, start over one leg, and then just balance yourself across the other leg. And just keep going backwards and forwards. And then just try and reach a little bit further on each bounce. So you've got to get it back of your legs, so your hamstrings, you'll get it on your adductors as well. But just try, as you're moving from one side to the other, just try and keep both butt cheeks on the floor, so you're not hiking your hips up. And then if you bring your legs back together, so this time we'll just isolate the right leg. So again, any problems with your knees, bring that sole of the foot on the inside. But if you can, bring it around the back into that hurdle stretch. Don't sit on your foot, just place your foot next to your bum or behind your bum. Bend your leg at the knee, rib cage over your thighs. Again, try and work those forearms down, and then straighten that leg up, but just keep the chest down and try and keep those forearms on the floor. I'm glad there's a massive difference in the tightness of my hamstrings. So again, with your foot, try not to relax your foot. Keep trying to flex that foot back towards your head. So you will get it, hamstrings all the way up, calves all the way up into your hamstrings. And slowly come out of that, leave that right leg forward, plant your foot on the floor, come into the lunge position. Oh, knee just cracked. So try and make sure you got a square box between your right calf and your left thigh. Stay nice and upright. You're going to lift that left foot up and then grab the foot and pull your heel in. And you should feel it stretching on your quad. If you're not feeling anything on your quad, let your hips sink forward. Keep that heel pulled in as tight as you can. And then as you lean forward, don't just lean over that right leg. Keep a straight line from your knees, through your hips, up to your shoulders, and then just sink your hips forward. So this right knee is going to come over your toes. But just keep that left foot pulled in nice and tight. If you can't grab your foot, if you're really, really tight on your quads, you can use a towel and just loop the towel around your foot. Or a band, if you've got a band, you can use a band. And then slowly come out of that and then switch the legs around. So again, if you just create that box between your thigh and your calf, lift the right foot up. Again, you can use a towel or a strap if you need to. If you're already feeling it in your quad, just stay where you are. If you're not feeling anything, keep that heel pulled in. And again, just let the hips sink forward. But keep that straight line all the way through your knee, through your hip, up to the shoulders. So again, just letting that left knee come right over the toe, but keep that heel pulled in nice and tight. So you should get it on the quad, you probably get it a little bit higher up. to the hips a little bit as well. And slowly come out of that. And then just pop both knees underneath your hips. Leave your bum stuck up in the air. And then big stretch out the arms. And then just sink your chest down and your chin down. So if you keep your arms nice and straight, if you can get your chin down to the mat, if you just look at where your hands are, we just keep that bum stuck up in the air, so you're trying to sink the chest down. And then the last one, if you just slowly come out of that, just bring your toes together, put the knees out to the side, and then sit back onto the heels. So you're kind of sitting right back onto the heels, and just flop your arms out in front. You can rest your head down on your mats, and then just relax your arms out. Just keep your hips sat back. Quite a nice one, just you've done quite a few swings. It's quite a nice one for your lower back. If you want to get a little bit more of a stretch all the way down your lat, so kind of from your armpit all the way down the sides, if you leave your arms outstretched, keep your hips where they are, and then just walk your hands over to one side, and just walk over as far as you can, and you should get a really nice stretch all the way down the sides of your back. And once you've done one side, just walk your hands over to the other side. Again, just keep your hips still, and then just walk your hands across as far as you can. And back into the middle. Whew. That's it, folks. All done. Just slowly come out of that. Just watch your legs don't snap back together. And we're all done. Another one down. Whew.